Hey, what's up, YouTube shooting people? So you may have heard there's an ammo shortage. Evidently, it's hard to make enough ammo to go around. So you're faced with this issue of how do you get your practice in? And it's a good point. So one thing you can definitely do is dry fire. In other words, you have your firearm, whatever it might be. You have a holster, you have some targets set up in your basement or wherever you can do it. No ammo around, none. You got to really make sure your weapon's clear, the whole thing. And you can do some dry fire practice. That's a possibility. Problem with dry fire practice is actually calling your hits. So you can look for your sight alignment. Problem is, calling those hits and making sure that, for instance, when you draw and you pull your trigger, that you are in fact, for instance, on IDPA target in the down zero. So that's a real issue, and how do you deal with that? Well, one way you can deal with that is by using a product like this. This is a, I'll take it out of the bubble package. I have opened this and messed around with it. This is a product from a company called Laserlyte, right here. A laser trainer, so Laser Trainer Pro. And I want to just talk to you about this. Okay, so you can get these on a variety of places for about 75 bucks. There's an instruction manual. I've said before, we don't use instructions because we're men, and nor do we use maps unless we're in the woods. So this is what it looks like. It's a device like this. Let's get a close-up of this thing. All this is a laser that is sound activated. So I'll show you how you put this in your barrel. Okay, you make sure there's no bullets anywhere around. You put this in your barrel. There's an adapter that goes on this end here. I'll show you how that all works in a second. And it aligns itself in the barrel. And the sound of either the hammer dropping or the striker being released sets it off, and a red laser will emit from it. I played around with it for a few hours so far. So far I like it. So keep in mind this review is in the context of this thing being used just for about 2.5 hours or so in dry fire practice. Okay, let's show you what this actually looks like. I have two different guns here. One's a hammer fired weapon, a 1911 9mm, and I have a Glock 21, which is a striker fired firearm. Both these firearms have been cleared off camera. I will clear them again for you when I demonstrate. The first thing you have to do, it comes with it's got 3 batteries in it. It also comes with 3 extra batteries. They're LR626s. They're little hearing aid batteries. They're readily available lots of places. You need to unscrew this part and remove an insulator. There's no on-off switch for this device, so you either have to remove the batteries or keep this insulator. See that blue thing? It's just a little piece of plastic that I'll show you. That's all it is. It's just a little piece of plastic that prevents the batteries from completing their circuit. So you can keep that and reuse it. Take that out and put the back, screw the back on again. Be careful not to cross thread it. Now what you need to do is there's an adapter on the back that you put on the back of this thing. I should tell you, this will fit in the barrel of, let's see, from a 35 to a 45 ACP. So it'll fit with that adapter. You can use it in a 380, 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, 38 Special, 45 ACP, 44 Magnum, etc. All right. Then what you have is, let me just leave that here for a second. There we go. You have a laser warning label. Okay, very important. Don't lose that. If you lose that warning label, Diane Feinstein's going to come and get you. Jesus Christ. All right. And then you have the adapter, which is this little plastic piece right here, and a screw, which is actually in the adapter right now. We'll just take it out. Okay, this screw. You lose this screw or you break the adapter, you're screwed. So don't. You might want to actually think about contacting Laserlyte and getting another one. You simply slip the adapter over the end. This thing looks like a crayon. Put it over the end in this orientation. Whoops. Like so. Right? And then you take the screw and screw it onto the end of the device. Now, let me just. It comes with a little Allen wrench. I don't think you need it, actually. I think you could use the Allen wrench, though. Let me just check here. No, you don't need the Allen wrench for this, because what you can do is simply push down here. That will expose the screw, and you can just grip the screw, if you see what I'm, and tighten it. All right. So what you're going to do by trial and error now is set this in a position where it's wide enough to engage the rifling in your barrel. All right, and I'll show you how this is done. So let's do it for the 9mm 1911 first. All right, let me just zoom out here. Listen, you're going to be sticking this device in the end of the barrel. You got to be 100% sure you don't have any ammunition around, and you're not going to do anything stupid for any dry fire drills, particularly this kind of stuff. There's no magazine in here. I'm going to rack back my slide. I'm going to physically and visually check this firearm. I know it's clear. This is the second time I cleared it. I'm going to point it in a safe direction. I'm going to pull the trigger. This firearm is now clear. I am 100% sure of that, and so are you. So what you're going to do now is place this. Now I screwed it down too far. The more you screw it down, the more it flares out. See if you can see that. If you screw it down, it flares out more, and it's for a larger diameter caliber. So you got to mess around with it a little bit. So this, in my opinion, is a bit of an annoying part. All right. So I'm going to mess around with the screw. For 9mm, you're basically going to put this screw in till it just starts to flare out. Right. So here it goes. It eventually goes in. And it should be a little bit tight. You're going to engage your rifling, right? Okay, there we go. And then it should feel pretty solid when you're pushing it in there, right? This is what it looks like. Now that seems pretty good, right? In other words, I can draw this firearm and shake it around like simulating a draw, and it's not going to come flying out. So there it is. Now, if I cock back the hammer, it's sound activated. So if I pull the trigger, I hope you could see that. Let's do it again. So pull the trigger, I think you can see the laser going off. Alright? Sound activated. Very nice. So from behind the camera, it's hard to get everything in focus, but we'll sort of put the pistol at an angle so I know I'm shooting up. You'll be able to see the actual laser. And again, cock the hammer back, pull the trigger, boom, there you go. Another down zero. What do you know? Alright, so that was a demo with a hammer-fired weapon. So of course a hammer makes a lot of noise. You want to make sure it also works with a striker-fire weapon. Here's our Glock 21. There's no magazine in here. I pull back my slide. I visually and physically inspect the chamber. Slide forward, hammer down in a safe direction. This firearm is clear. Hammer-fired weapon, you can just keep cocking the hammer. You don't have to actuate the slide. Striker-fired, you're going to have to actuate the slide. If you have a double-action firearm like a revolver, this will work in a revolver just fine. If you have like a Beretta 92, anything that's double-action, of course, you don't have to actuate or work the slide. But it's important to show you that this works on a striker-fired pistol and that it doesn't keep coming out of the barrel when you rack the slide. All right. So this is a 45. Of course, the barrel diameter is much bigger. So we're just going to push down on this adapter piece and screw in the retaining screw to make it a larger diameter. And we just keep doing that until it's a snug fit in the end of the barrel. So there's our barrel. Again, goes right in, works great in a Glock barrel. This thing ain't coming out. I can work my slide, right? I don't know if you want to let your slide slam forward. In fact, without a round in there, I would not do that in general. But it seems to be just, if I'm reasonably careful and you check it, it actually can be a little bit tighter. Right. There we go. That thing ain't going. I wouldn't recommend letting your slide slam forward on an empty chamber anyway. And with the striker, there it goes. So let's rack it. It will set it off when you're racking it. Again, it's sound activated. And pretty cool, right? Here's this sights. Okay, lines up pretty good naturally, right? And again, this is striker fired, so I gotta rack this. It's not coming out, and I'm pretty sure you can see this. There's my laser. All right, so you can use this now as a tool to really aid you in your dry fire practice, which is really an important component of shooting. You can work out a lot of bugs by dry fire practicing. You can work on your draw. You can work on reloads. You can work on reloading from slide lock. You can work on transitioning. This will allow you to transition. You can do this. You can use this as a tool to work on your transitioning. If you set up multiple targets, the first target you can draw, index on the first target, right? Don't pull the trigger and sound activate the laser, but then transition. For instance, if you have a double action, of course you could, but if you have a striker fired firearm, you can index on the first target and then transition, rapidly transition, press the trigger, and you'll be able to see with that movement that you're remaining on target. There's lots and lots of drills you can do. So to get this thing out, all you do is go ahead and grab it. And it just comes right out. Just pull it straight out. Don't twist it at all. Okay. Very important when you're done. It would be to unscrew the back here and put in that little insulator to prevent your batteries from running out, because this thing is always on. Okay. There's no switch on it. If there was a switch incorporated into this somehow, it'd be great. But there isn't, so you either have to remove the batteries or keep that little insulator. Alright, so that's it. That's the Laserlyte Pro by Laserlyte Pro Trainer. It's the LT Pro. It's something to think about as part of your training equipment. As ammo is expensive in general. Now the prices are getting crazy. People are hoarding, so availability is crazy. Gun shops are price gouging because they're scumbags, and so this is a nice way of sort of saving yourself from some of that. Again, it's not a cheap way to go. It's 75 bucks, but if you think about it, you could blow 75 bucks in ammo at the range in 30 minutes and still not get the kind of practice that you're looking for. All right. And remember, if you don't have ammo, you're going to have to rely on one of these. Coal Creek Forge, hand-forged Damascus, another hand-forged Damascus Tomahawk. I believe this handles Osage wood, Stephen Liley at his finest. Yep. All right. Keep in mind, Guns, particularly black guns, are bad, bad, bad. Fuck that.